this movie is the original, the OG. I'm going to become the Joker
Well,
movie.
yeah, pretty much. It predates even the movie that the Joker is based on.
Yes, but yeah, it's very Joker-esque.
Well, it's about a guy who kind of his life goes to shit and he becomes a clown and then he does murder. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Those are light murders.
Well,
Anyway,
they're much more exciting cool murders because they involve lions. So,
yes, we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is
um
He Who Gets Slapped.
great
Uh,
title.
Great title. Again, you couldn't make a title like that now. That's like
Probably
it's a
not.
whole sentence.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
um,
There are occasionally movies that have weird long titles like that.
uh,
Um
this movie is so cool.
it is it
It's
is very cool, very wild. It is a weird movie.
yes.
I was a fan though, for
I
sure.
I think this movie is yeah, it is it I think it's The Last Laugh is playing with some like themes, right? Of
Mhm.
like class. Greed's playing with some very on the nose themes. I think this movie it like gives you stuff to chew on, you know?
Yes.
It
It is
like
not a movie that gives you easy answers, which is,
yeah.
I think, very unlike most of the silent films that we've watched. Tend to be
Yeah. Yeah.
fairly clear cut in what morals they're kind of putting forward.
Mhm.
Whereas this movie's just like, hey man, world's crazy, am I right?
Yeah, which is ridiculous because like this is directed by Victor Sjostrom, who
Hmm.
has now uh started making movies in Hollywood and has Americanized his last name as Victor Seastrom.
Indeed. As when I
Uh,
saw that in the opening credits, I was like, oh boy. It's like that's some people did back in the day. Is like they would anglicize their names. I guess
yeah,
people still do that. But
but
we've
I
watched
thought
all of his proper movies, right?
yeah,
His Scandinavian films where he's credited as Sjostrom, and then it's like Victor Seastrom presents He Who Gets
yeah.
Slapped, and it's like he's gone Hollywood, man.
uh,
Um,
but I thought that you know his last movie that we talked about on the podcast, The
right.
Phantom Carriage. I hated that movie
Yeah, not one of his
because
better films, I didn't think.
but specifically because it had these like stupidly like
Yeah, very
more like simple
yeah,
morals, right?
very moralistic, very preachy, very clear cut in what it's trying to put forward.
And yeah, this one like it's so complex.
Hmm.
There's I I think there's just so much going on with this movie, but let's talk about what's going on in it.
Yeah.
So this is our first Lon Chaney movie that we
Uh,
talked about.
True. Yeah. I mean, I also watched his Hunchback of Notre Dame film from
Yeah,
the previous year, but we didn't have time to talk about it. Lon Chaney is good at his job. Uh, Reason why that dude was so famous.
yeah.
Um,
Lon Chaney is great in this
yeah.
movie. Uh, really really good acting.
And this is a much less showy role, I think, than Quasimodo
Mhm,
in Hunchback.
mhm.
It's less of a kind of like transformative makeup thing. Um,
Which he's famous for.
right. Back in the 20s, actors did their own makeup. There wasn't a dedicated makeup department, and so Lon Chaney was the guy making all these like wild prosthetics and like monster makeup and things like that. He kind of was a pioneer in that
Hmm.
field. And this he plays a sad clown, so it's less transformative, but it's still, I think a lot of what he's doing as an actor here is in line with, I think, what he's known for.
Right. So this is Lon Chaney is playing a scientist
Hmm.
who has a who's been working on these like really in depth things. He's been working on it for years, and he has this benefactor, this rich
Hmm.
benefactor, who has
The
been funding
Baron.
his research. A baron,
Yeah.
Baron Regnard, uh, who has been funding his research, and after years or whatever, he finally makes a breakthrough.
Yeah.
He
We never really find out what his breakthrough is, right? Like it's pretty
No, I don't.
nebulous. Like
Yeah,
he's a scientist. He made a breakthrough.
yeah. It's not germane, I guess. But he he goes to his wife and he's like, "Oh my god, I've finally figured it out. I finally done this. I'm going to become a rich and famous scientist."
Mm-hmm.
And he says to the Baron, like, "Thank you so much for funding me all of this time. I appreciate like everything that you've done for me." And he's like, of course, of course." And so Paul, who Lon Chaney plays, goes up to this Academy of Scientists, and he's like, "I'm going to present my finding." And he is introduced by the Baron,
Mm.
and in that introduction, the Baron just spills all the beans, and
Fully takes credit for his discovery,
yeah, uh,
which just goes to
and
show never trust a guy who goes by the title The Baron.
and so yeah, Lon Chaney's character, he's like, what's going on here, you know, like you're gonna say that this was my idea, right? He goes up to the Baron and says, like, please, like tell them the truth, tell them that this was mine, and that you just said it in front of them. And the Baron says, "You're just some lab assistant, and I don't like, you didn't come up with any of this. Like, I don't respect you. You're not real." And the scientists are all like, "Oh my god." And then a formative moment happens in his life, which is the Baron, after all of this pleading, the Baron is trying to like dismiss him to make himself feel superior, and he slaps Paul. And then when he slaps him, all of the scientists laugh at him.
Yeah, they're like
He becomes
the
a joke.
Academy of Old Dudes that he's been
Yes.
presenting to.
The not non-wizard hatted scientists.
Yeah.
They all laugh at him, and he's crushed, not unlike Last Laugh guy, Doorman.
So then he returns home to his
Yes.
wife. Are they married? I don't think they're actually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so he returns home to his wife, and he tells her the news of what happened today, and she's like weirdly distant about it. And then the Baron walks in, and it turns out that she has been with the Baron this entire time, and she doesn't care that her husband was laughed at and made a fool of and disgraced.
Yeah.
Because she's with the Baron now.
She says, "You with your silly face and stupid books," and then she laughs at him and calls him a clown.
And that's when his mind fully breaks.
Yeah.
You
can see the moment where his heart breaks in half. and then the Baron says, "Who is the most popular now, Paul?"
Ooh, that's 2 references in 10 seconds. Nice. Oh yeah, Paul, that works. Okay. So then we flash forward, and he has
he's done what anyone would do in this situation. He's joined the circus.
Yes. And he has done this sort of like reclaiming of this moment where he was slapped and made a fool of by becoming this clown who is known as He
who gets slapped.
He now is a very popular clown in this circus, and he does all of these routines where he is like summoning the power of how funny it is to get slapped in the face, and just gets slapped 60 times per show.
And
they're all like, "Got slapped 60 times this time. That was a good show tonight, Paul."
And it's such a popular show that the circus has kind of built their entire sort of image around. Like he's there's a neon sign of him getting slapped in the face.
Yes.
So he's like the star attraction of this circus, is a clown who gets slapped a bunch.
He's a good clown.
Yeah.
And Lon Chaney is really good in normal guy mode and in clown mode.
Yeah.
He plays a great clown. but yeah, this guy literally becomes the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He does the meme.
And then at the circus, we're introduced to two of our other really central characters, Bizano and Consuelo, who are the sort of young, hot, romantic leads of this film.
Mm-hmm.
Bizano is a sort of horseback stunt rider, and Consuelo is the daughter of this sort of wealthy.
The Count.
Yes, the Count, of course, because we had the Baron and now we have the Count, our two villains.
Yeah.
And so Bezano and Consuelo kind of get thrown together as part of the circus act with the horse. There's a funny bit where the horse is actually pushing Bezano into the room to like go talk to her.
Yeah.
Some of the intertitles in this are kind of, they're a little maybe overwritten, but they're kind of fun. They describe the Count as the flower of an old family gone to seed, and then Consuelo as an orchid in the ruined Mancini gardens.
Yeah, I was trying to understand what those really meant.
I think I get the intent from them. It's like, one is this like, head of a wealthy family, but who is, not a very good person, and the other is this sort of like this one bright spot in this sort of like ruinous old money family. And we get a bunch of circus stuff. Some circus acts and things.
I forgot to mention earlier, actually, one kind of like other interesting wrinkle about like him get his act of getting slapped on stage is that he is pretending to present his scientific findings to the academy, an academy of clowns.
Mm-hmm.
They all laugh at him, and as they laugh at him, they slap him. Every time he tries to say something, he gets slapped.
And
so it's this like degradation, like humiliation thing.
Oh yeah. It also, his act ends with, he has got this little plush heart that gets sewn into his his costume, and at the end of the act it is ripped out and then buried.
Yeah, stomped on the ground and then buried. Super sad clown. And yeah, great stuff to work with.
Men will literally become a clown and turn their worst experience into a circus show instead of going to therapy.
The circus is his therapy, Glenn.
It's true.
But he hasn't healed that much because one day the Baron comes to see a show, and after the show, and like he notices the Baron,
throws him off his rhythm.
And eventually the Baron goes backstage, and the Baron ends up kind of trying to court Consuelo as a lover of some kind, despite he's ex-wife being with him as well.
Indeed. It is also around here, right? So the Count has sort of talked to Consuelo that he has this rich friend who wants to marry Consuelo, who turns out to be the Baron.
Right.
We get a reveal that the Count has a sword cane, which is going to come into, it's going to be important later.
Chekhov's sword cane.
Exactly. Bizano, the horse guy, and Consuelo go out for a lovely picnic in the garden and make flower crowns. Meanwhile, like, the Count is kind of trying to marry her off to the Baron. Like, you have money, my family doesn't really have money anymore. Let's make this work. I don't care what my daughter wants. But so Consuelo is still like, she won't agree to marry Bizano because she's like, I need my father's, approval, which is, a bunch of bullshit. But Consuelo is old fashioned.
But yeah, there's a lot of this like development of the relationship between the two of them. Like they really seem, it's like they are the couple. They are the ones who, deserve the love or whatever. Right.
But then also, meanwhile, Paul, or he, is also kind of falling for Consuelo because Consuelo is nice to him and will like talk to him backstage. She like sews the heart into his costume before the show. And just kind of treats him like a human being.
Honestly, like, I was when this reveal happened that there was a triangle and that he loved Consuelo too. I was a little like disappointed in the movie.
I got a little worried about how it was going to play out, and then my worries were put aside because it handles it very well, I think. So
he admits to Consuelo that he loves her.
Yeah.
And then she laughs at him.
She immediately laughs it off like, "Oh, I thought you were serious." Like, she immediately thinks it's like part of his like sad sack persona.
Like, yeah.
Of like, I've loved you secretly from afar. And she's like, "Oh, you."
Which is it's true. But then, like, it's true that he loves her, but then he knows this situation, right? He, even though he has just like admitted that he loves her, he's like, well, another embarrassment that I can reclaim, you know? And so he goes, yes, you're right. That was the joke all the time. That I was just goofing around, and I'm just playing a character,
Yeah. He kind of uses that to fuel. Uses that as fuel back into like the persona that he's built.
Yeah, and it's like this combination of just like masochism and like reclaiming of like the things that hurt him, and like a shield at the same time.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that's going on with this character, and I think like Lon Chaney does like a fantastic job of,
he's also taking the most painful thing he's ever lived through, and he's turning it into art. Like he's but so then Paul, or he, confronts the Baron and the Count about their sinister plans to marry Consuelo to the Baron. He's like, I'm not losing another one to you, Baron. And they sort of have an altercation, and the Count stabs him with his sword cane. But clever Paul has left a trap, which is that he has left a lion cage open outside the door. Like, he put a lion cage like right up against the door and like opened the front of it. So then he's there like bleeding out from a stab wound. And the Count and the Baron are like, ha ha ha, we stabbed this guy, let's leave.
Yeah.
And they open the door.
During this altercation, by the way, like he reveals himself to be Paul to the Baron.
Yeah.
And he's like, and so the Baron is like, oh God, like this guy has got some kind of revenge going on right now.
So they try to leave, but they open the door and there's a lion there. And so there's a great scene where they're just like getting attacked and mauled by a lion. They don't show anything gruesome, but it's still like, it's a real lion. Yeah. And there's this bit where they're trying to like hide behind tables, and then it will show just the lion leaping over the table and like stuff getting like commotion happening.
And so the lion eventually kills them. And he is just left in the room, stabbed, and ready to be lion food. And he says the best line in the movie. The lion's coming up to him, and he says, "It's time for the final slap." Oh God! That's
this
a
movie,
paraphrase.
This is the movie that slaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
But so then the lion tamer shows up and chases the lion away before the lion can slap him to death with its claws.
And
Um,
teeth.
and Paul goes out to perform his act, right? His slap act
While dying.
while bleeding out. Yeah, which he does, and he finishes the act, but dies holding his bloody, his like plush heart that has been in his costume, so it's soaked through with blood.
Oh man.
And sort of Bezano and Consuelo are finally free to, be together because the machinations of the Count and the Baron are mute because they've both been killed by a lion. And the movie ends with the quote, "What is death? What is life? What is love?"
That's kind of silly, but
It's still kind of silly, but it's I think in fitting with the kind of operatic nature of this whole movie.
very operatic.
Yeah, it's based on a Russian play. I'm not sure if it's an opera or just I think it's just a play. I don't think it's an actual opera, but that tracks to me. Like, yeah, this feels like a Russian play. It's very bleak. We mentioned like anti-heroes before, and I think Paul kind of fits into that more so than like McTeague. Like McTeague is just a bastard. Whereas Paul is like, we do care about him and like what happens to him in the story, but he's also like a crazy person. And like he doesn't really do good things necessarily. Like he
I don't
does
know. You have
he
a lot
does
of empathy.
murder via lion, which rules, but is also, not the most morally upstanding act.
I don't know. I feel like when you're in a movie, when you're watching a movie, when you're a character in a movie, like you have a little more leeway as far as like killing people.
Sure, yeah.
Than especially if it's by lion.
But I feel like Paul embodies that kind of archetype more so than most other characters that we've come across.
Yeah, he's a tragic anti-hero.
But he like I don't know, like I feel like the thing, I like how he is sort of like thinks he's having this sort of romantic relationship with Consuelo, and it's like, no, like that's entirely one-sided, and she immediately dismisses it, and he's just
and he immediately like reclaims it,
Right,
as part of his thing. And eventually, like, the romantic subplot with him and Consuelo is like completely dropped,
right,
because he has just internalized the masochism, and but also, he's like, you're free to live your life now, he is like not trying to like use his death to like get to her. He's given up on trying to get to her.
I mean, and he is, I mean, the main reason, other than revenge, he is trying to kill the Baron and the Count in order to like give her a future, sort of like they're the people that are preventing her from being happy, and so he's like, I'm just gonna kill them with a lion, and then you're good.
He is getting his own revenge, but he's also living his life in service of other people. And like when his life gets ruined by the scientists, he decides to take his shame and like use it for the entertainment of other people. He's like this he's a true benefactor of all the people around him. He's a good dude. Even if he killed some people with a lion, they sucked anyway.
Yeah, sure. There was a Letterboxd review of this movie that described it as having a threatening aura, which I very much agree with. I think that is an apt description of this movie. Because there is something that is like, this movie isn't more violent or more gruesome than anything we've watched, but it is like, there's something about it that is very like, threatening. It is, like you said, there are other movies that get into darker subject matter and have like darker things occurring on screen, but I think this movie as just this tone and this vibe to it that is very like, ooh, this is, I'm not used to seeing this.
Yeah. Got anything else on that?
I don't know, I guess it's like the way that it's not really satire, but it's treating it seriously, but there's this kind of like almost kind of like sarcastic quality to a lot of, at least with the main character, like the way
Mhm.
that he kind of laughs stuff off and is, he's like, the
The
whole,
tone of
it's
this
all a
movie is
big
really
joke.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um uh yeah, pretty it's a good film. It feels pretty daring for this year.
Yeah. Uh and despite the fact that like I feel like a lot of these ideas have been kind of hijacked by chuds, you know? If this movie came out now, it would embolden the wrong kind of people.
People who want to
But
join the circus and do murder.
I mean, joining the circus, go for it. I'm just talking about
More
like
more incels should join the circus, is what you're saying.
yes, actually.
Hell, they'll probably get laid in the circus, right?
I'm sure you know how circus people are. I'm sure you're aware of how circus people are. Yeah. This movie is like, I think it's like so like thematically rich.
Yeah.
It's like very like narrow. It's like playing with these idea, like this narrow set of ideas, but it is examining them through all of these like really interesting lenses. It's like putting them through different tests. I think that like I haven't seen Joker. I haven't seen the stupid Joker movie.
Spoilers, this movie is better.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like the sense that I get from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie is that, or just the Joker Batman story in general, is that it's playing with similar themes, but it's doing it in a less interesting way.
Mm.
I think this movie is awesome. I think
Yeah.
it's really smart. I think it's one of the smartest movies that we've seen so far.
Well, I think you said this before. It asks a lot of the audience in ways that not a lot of other movies up, or that at least we've watched up to this point for the show, have done.
Yeah.
Which I like. It makes it stick out for sure. Speaking of lions, though, a little fun fact at the end here about this movie is it is the first appearance of the MGM lion logo.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So Goldwyn Pictures already had a lion logo. So they already had this sort of like film strip lion thing. But this was the first, it wasn't the first MGM film release, but it was the first film produced by the newly formed MGM studio.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the first one to have the lion with the actual MGM logo on it, even if Goldwyn already had the lion logo. It just had a different name on it. So that's just a fun thing.
Yeah, and this was one of the top grossing movies of the year too.
Yeah.
Which I think for like, I don't know, an art film, I don't know if for a really challenging drama that has like some really interesting tonal stuff going on. Like that's pretty impressive that this got such play, you know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like big melodramas tended to play well in the 1920s. It seems like that was very in style at the time.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that this is like elevated beyond a lot of melodramas, but